So, hey everyone, welcome to the welcome to the next new episode of On Agents by Spheron and Skynet. And today we have some special guest with us. And in this specific segment, we would be understanding who really own these agents, like who are the actual owner. Does the developer have full vital control over this, or is it the infrastructure, and how does it take place? Today we have some special guests with us, and also we have a Figma board ready for this topic where you can actually go and reference to. So, can you see my screen?
Yes.
So, today's topic is, are those agents run by human, myths or facts? And it's mostly examining like what are these AI agents and what we are working on. And we have this last minute entry from Ben, and I'm very glad that Ben, you were able to make it. So you are not here today in this, but definitely welcome to the stream. And we have Prashant from Spheron Network, we have Thaval from Hey Elsa, we have Vit from Ring Friends. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream, and thank you so much for making this on a Sunday. And this specific segment is more on understanding and exploring what AI agents are, where this whole ownership comes from, and understanding the ethical considerations around it in terms of the whole truth terminal controversy, which happened few days before, and also like how does the control mechanism looks like for different agents, and how is there transparency in terms of financial ways. So, thank you so much, guys, for making it to the stream. And I would love to know more about you and what you have been working on through you itself. And I think let's start with Ben from Talis. Like, would love to know what you guys have been building and what you are focused on right now.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Ben. I'm the co-founder of Talus Network, and we're building a platform for AI agents. So we're creating a new framework for agents that's a Python SDK that attempts to complaints that people have about existing agent frameworks. So you don't need to know any move unless you want to interact with on-chain law.
Am I the
Yeah, it's
only
really
one who's
really
losing
simple.
audio,
Going to
or
be easy to use out of the box. V1 is already released. We're going to be releasing V2 in a matter of about 2 months. Um, and then it's going to have a very Crew AI LangChain type feel, which are the two most used agent frameworks in Web 2 right now, except for fully on-chain agents. And then on top of that, we're going to be launching some initial applications on Sui. Sui has been a great partner to us. Miston Labs and the foundation have been a great partner to us, and we're really impressed with that ecosystem. We knew we wanted to build with Sui Move for everything on chain because we felt that that was the best developer stack and the most performant execution environment in all of crypto. And of course, we've seen incredible growth in the Sui community. So. Um, yeah, we're going to be launching an AI personality platform where anyone can come and launch an agent, and there's going to be a lot of very cool gamification and competitions that agents are going to be able to. That'll be our initial application. That'll be coming out in a matter of weeks. Any week now, we'll release V1 of our AI personality. Application, and I think that this is really unique. We haven't what we're launching called AI Bay. I think it's really unique. We haven't seen something like it in crypto before. So V1, be on the lookout for that very soon.
amazing, Ben? I think pretty great job on like with AI Bay especially. So AI Bay is mostly an AI girlfriend, right?
Yeah. So
Oh,
it will be an AI personality platform. The most common application I think will be for AI girlfriend, but there's going to be a lot of cool stuff you can do cool characters to interact with. We worked really hard on character lore and storylines for the user experience. So again, I think it's going to be really. I think it's going to be unique. There hasn't been an application like it in crypto before, and we look at Web two, the number two consumer AI application in all of Web two, second only to ChatGPT, is character AI. So that's where we got this inspiration, and we just want to make it something fun for people to play with, like agents. We want this to be a very consumer oriented. We're thinking really high up the stack toward the end user. So just trying to make a great user experience.
Amazing. Super bullish on that. And Vit, over to you. What you guys have been building. I'm just gonna pull up your page as well so that everyone can see.
Thanks, Prakash. I appreciate you and Prashant putting this together. My name is Whit. I'm the co-founder of Ringfence AI, and Ringfence is building a data orchestration layer for the agentic era. So essentially, we've been building data management and governance software for the better part of the last 2 years. And now we are getting to a point where our stack is ready to release. We've got a number of agents that we are currently working with that will launch on different chains. The way that we've built our software is to be omni-chain, because we believe, and I think we're seeing this now, that it's less likely that agents are going to attach themselves to one chain, right? Their token may launch on one chain, but their functionality needs to be omni-chain, and they need to be able to have a presence in many different places. So that's how we have designed the orchestration layer. We do also have our first agent that we've launched in partnership with Agent Starter on Virtuals last week, actually almost 10 days ago. And that's Chavi.
Oh, nice.
And Chavi originally was launched as an X avatar, but every time we hooked our model up to X to get it actually tweeting, we got shadow banned. So we actually burned through 7 Twitter accounts as we were testing Chavi out. And then we just decided to move it to a web UI. So if you go to agentchavi.ai, and that's Chavi like the football player, XAVI, you'll be able to have conversations with Chavi. And we just pushed update 1.1, version 1.1 yesterday. And there's a lot of great capabilities for analyzing X, right? So Chavi, the name, it's XAvi, right? An X avatar. That's how we came with that name. So first and foremost, we wanted to make sure that Chavi could take data from Twitter and provide you with actionable insights that you could then trade with, right? And we're designing Chavi to essentially replace all of the tools that people currently use to trade crypto. So right now we're starting with X. We're optimizing his ability to synthesize and provide digestible information from X. So you can go on there, you can do multi-account sentiment analysis to see if multiple KOLs are tweeting about the same ticker within a given period of time. You can do general sentiment analysis for the entire market. You can ask Chavi, based on Twitter sentiment, how should I break down my portfolio? And then you can also just go in the morning and ask for a quick update. So, Chavi's getting already to be a good alternative for going on and scrolling endlessly on Twitter, because now you can just go on to the website, get a quick query in, and get a response that you can actually take action on. So that's the first step. We're in the process of adding a lot of new data sources for Chavi to start synthesizing and providing information on. And then, of course, with this DeFi and AI combination, we got to think of a better name than DeFi. But Chavi is on track to be a great.
I keep thinking it's Def AI.
It's so bad. It's so like it's such a low effort. It's such a low effort name,
Why can't we just say DeFi AI?
Right?
Yeah.
That's is it DeFi? I don't know. We're getting out there.
Oh man, that's way worse. DeFi.
People are gonna be mocking it a lot, so we are just gonna see.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Def AI? They couldn't.
Def AI. All right, that's a different thing entirely, right? Yeah. But essentially, that's what we've been doing. We've been working for the last. Our goal with Chavi was to build it entirely in public. So we started building Chavi about 14 days ago. We released them 10 days ago, and now we're just pushing updates, building in public. We'll move him over to our agentic framework here in the next week or so, and then we'll release the other agents that are currently building on the stack in short order, and they'll release on different chains. So Chavi is on Base. We have some that'll go on Sol, some that will go on Story, and then some that are more consumer focused that'll go live on Abstract.
Amazing. And I think Abstract, they were supposed to go live on Monday, right? Did they go live on Monday?
I think
Did
it's
somebody
in,
check? Because I
I
saw
think it's
something
in
they
24
got.
hours. Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's tomorrow. Yeah, the agent won't launch.
everybody's
on
gonna go
Ethereum
live.
that much, but yeah, it's the time, right? We're just in that quarter of the year where everyone needs to get their tokens out so that investors
Yeah.
can capitalize on the bull market, right? What nobody wants
So
to
we
say
see
is
half
like
of the
this.
people who have already done it. It's like it's like half of the people who have already done it and riding the wave, and then there are people who are like in line to that. So it's a it's the wait is eventually somewhat scary and exciting. Over to Dhaval. And Dhaval, what you have been building, and let me go ahead and pull up Hey Elsa on my screen.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I know it's a Sunday and it's a quiet one, but thrilled to be here on the call. Okay, and just to quickly introduce myself, I've been previously the co-founder at Woodstock Fund, and subsequently I also co-founded Frontier Wallet. We were able to scale it up to 1 million users, supporting 80 plus chains. We saw this, we saw the wallet story kind of sunsetting, and we were like looking for ideas. Okay, that includes our CTO and I. And coming to like Denver last year, okay, we were just brainstorming on what's potentially possible for us to build at a hackathon, and we built the first text-to-transaction swap that allowed you to swap tokens on Base, connecting to like Uniswap at the core of it. Soon, we were able to get like a lot of interest from the hackers there and the judges as well. And we thought that why not pursue this as a full-time idea? Okay, what if we could really expand this, okay, to a wide number of chains, as well as expand it to say, not just like a number of chains, but also several other dApps and protocols. That's how Elsa was built. Elsa is essentially, crypto co-pilot. Like under the hood, we have more than 100 plus agents that work together. We've been, steadily seeing, a healthy amount of user growth. Currently, Elsa supports 7 chains that includes Solana, Ethereum, Base, OP, Arbitrum, Polygon, and BSC. What we're now looking at is essentially, helping users, quickly understand and decide what's the most efficient path for acquiring tokens. Just yesterday, one of my other friends in SF, messaged me saying that, hey, you've got to look at like this particular token. It's really, really exciting. They have a product, and here's the DEX screen and link. The alpha was so early that you couldn't find the token on CoinGecko. And what we did at Elsa is that, what if users are able to acquire these tokens without the broken UI that one needs to typically navigate, link wallets, link portfolios, and then go about it. And, since we were on a call, we actually did it live, and it was a pretty seamless transaction. Now, I think what most crypto users have is intents. And these intents specifically revolve around, user goals. Okay, so it could be something like, okay, get me started with like say $650. Okay, we track and monitor a lot of our user prompts anonymously, and whenever a user has an intent, okay, like that, is that like typically they have to do their own research, find Bitcoin, okay, find assets that they want to acquire. Okay, that entire journey is outside of the wallet, and it's outside of is completely off-chain research that goes into for a normie user. And our goal is to essentially bring that entire process on Elsa, which is something that we have been doing. So let's say a typical user journey at Elsa looks like, okay, sign up for a smart wallet, okay, fund it using some of the many on-ramps available, okay, start doing your crypto research, okay, use several agents there, okay, start executing those agents, and then, we're soon enabling setting a target profit stop loss levels as well. So it completes the full loop. Okay, what most crypto users think is that, they're going to buy like one token, and it's probably going to get to like a 50, 100,000x, and that's where most of the riches will be made. Okay, whereas it is like, I think, trading several tokens is potentially going to get you there. It may not even get you there. Okay, so what we want is that we want users to, like, every single execution, okay, should be backed by a stop loss take profit levels as well, so that they can book their profits or like secure the losses or set them both as well. So that's what we're building at Elsa. Currently, we are seeing 20,000 daily active users. Our daily transaction volumes over the last, I would say, 15 days has been about 250,000 on an average. And we'd love to get feedback from our users. That's how we're building a better product. So do check it out.
This is amazing, Dhaval. Like we have been following you for a long time, honestly, because I think we got connected super early because nobody was speaking about AI agents, and we were connecting to so many people who are building on top of AI, and then we got to know about you and got connected, and like we still got in a group chat. So pretty bullish on you and pretty amazing what you have been building. Over to you, Prashant.
All the growth has typically been in the last, I would say, 1 month. We went live on 16th of September at Token 2049 in Singapore. So we were able to actually showcase the app to like everyone there. And back then, we were having like 40, 50 DAUs, and the transaction volume wasn't even $100. Okay, so it's like it's like getting the iterative feedback, okay, for our model, okay, has been something that has helped us build a really better product. But had we not gone through that time, okay, we would have really struggled, okay, to sort of see how this comes through.
Pretty amazing, Dhaval. Over to you, Prashant. Prashant, what you have been working on, what you are building, do tell us about it.
Yeah, sure, man. But thank you so much, everyone, for giving a amazing introduction, and love what you all are building today. So at Spheron, we are building the basic foundation for everything, whatever we have just spoken here. So our philosophy at Spheron is like, when we build AI agents, when we build any of these infra where users are going to be coming in, we don't basically believe in that they should be running those infra on centralized players. That's what we are building to ensure that this doesn't happen, and lot of value which is getting captured on Web3 side by calling it as a Web3 essentially means like by launching token, making the money out instead of just selling those money to pay back AWS bill. It should not happen. We should have a solid infra in the Web3, which basically also will be able to absorb the fund which is coming in, and power the next AI and next generation AI agent infrastructure out there. So that's what we are doing at Spheron. We are building it for quite a long time. Some of the biggest win for us, at least at Spheron, is like, you make a transaction today, you get a compute without any question asked. So that basically means like, if anyone, even what all of you are building here, I think I've already gone through most of your stack, is there's a cool concept of making us agents more autonomous and unleashing them to go ahead and do whatever they wish to. That's one part of it. Utilizing Spheron, you can build that. The second part is like, why to maintain infra, why to hire a DevOps team, entire DevOps team, when your DevOps can be handled by the bots itself. So you deploy a bot, they give that bot a fund, and that bot should be able to spin up your infra quite seamlessly directly on Spheron without even off-ramping, without even having a credit card details, without any of those things like into the wallet. So that's what we are doing at Spheron. And the other thing is like the GPU side. We wanted to stay like we wanted to keep ourselves not into higher grade in GPUs as well. But proudly speaking, today Spheron is also among the players who provides the least expensive GPUs in the market. Essentially, like, just to quote some numbers, like 4090, the market is like going at around 0.45 and $0.5 per hour. At Spheron, you easily get it around 0.32. That's like win-win for. So that's what we are also very proud of doing that. I'll pause here. But there is one more interesting thing. I think most of you will also love it. We have been building on this concept called Skynet. Skynet is basically it's a protocol which allows or makes any existing framework autonomous. We are working on to release that. So do check it out if anyone is interested, and all the viewers as well, is to learn more about how agents can become autonomous. Skynet is currently working on that. I'll pause here, Prakash, or else I can keep on going on, but would love to take the conversation forward.
Amazing. I think thank you so much for covering what we have been building so far and for Skynet itself. And it brings us to the very most important question today. Who own these agents? Like, I really want to understand more about it and really want to. But before that, I think we need a primer, honestly. And here are few questions, and I would love to see like if our guest would take these questions uh, with them one at a time. And it's mostly like you can pick anything, and you can understand, like you can tell us to the audience what you feel about the agents, give them a primer, and then we jump on to the topic of the ownership of these agents. So, what are exactly AI agents? And for reference, I can just open up these diagrams I have taken from the new report, which new white paper, I think, which was done by Google recently, and which is pretty elongated. And but I would love to know, what are these AI agents actually?
I can jump in on this. Essentially how I'll preface this by saying I am a non-technical founder, right? So everything on the AI side is self-learned. So I'll defer to the other gentleman on the more technical questions. But when I think logically about what an agent is, right, it's an autonomous model that completes a task or provides a service to their owner. And whether that's a company or an individual, I think this is how we are commonly coming to define agents at their, in their current state.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brett. And anybody who wants to join in on this?
Yeah, I can jump in real quick. Agents like to us is like say an operator that can fix or accomplish certain tasks that can be done. Okay, so let's say if a user's inputs were like swap like USDC for WETH, okay, or USDC for SOL, okay, they should be able to do it with just like a single prompt. And then everything that needs to be done under the hood as shown in this example for like say looking for flights. Okay, so then the agent would do pretty much the same thing. Okay, dry run the transaction through a solver network. Okay, find the most optimal quote. Okay, present it to the user awaiting confirmation as well. I think the autonomous side of things is something that we haven't seen just yet, simply because it means that you're pretty much assigning your private keys, okay, to the agent, okay, which could, have adverse circumstances. So what we are seeing, like in the first 1.0 agents, is semi-autonomous agents that probably sync user inputs and confirmation for every step along the way. But soon, you might be able to, let it trade like, okay, trade 5% of my portfolio. Well, by the way, these are some of the live prompts that we've seen. Is that, users typically have, a certain amount of tokens and they're like, okay, trade 5% of my tokens for meme coins, snipe all of them early on, buy 25 USDC worth of each, okay, and then sell them the moment it is 3x. Of course, like something like this requires a significantly higher amount of permissions from the user end, which they do not necessarily understand that, yes, this is what they would be effectively giving away. So in the first 1.0 agents are like semi-autonomous in nature and something that is live on ELSA at the moment.
Amazing. So just wanted to add on top of that, Dhaval, I think, and I would love to take your feedback on this. So do check out. I'm again like saying that, but I'd love to kind of like take your opinion on this kind of approach. I think it's already 2.0, which we are already building. It's no longer 1.0. We came with the collective intelligence thought process, but adding on top of that, for me, the agents are like interns for me. So that's how I look at as a non-tech guy. Like I'm a tech guy, but I do look at agents as something like that, not beyond that as we speak. But there is something where I feel like agents are way. So imagine agents are like, I'm not good at for example, writing. Right. In that way, I need to hire someone who is good in writing, who it can be like, instead of me going for interviewing and laying out the entire interview steps and process to find out somebody who just have to basically create some kind of good written material for me, just but giving my thoughts, it doesn't make sense, right? I can go and give them my thoughts to any existing agents, and they should be able to formulate a good write-up for me by going through different steps, by looking into the facts which I have put into that, breaking those facts, ensuring that the things which that agent is writing is not something which is like just a non-factual data, but validating and confirming and putting the reference points and everything. So I think that's what I look at agent as more of that perspective. But yeah, as we grow, we are going to see these agents becoming more capable enough, and that's what we all are kind of working towards.
Amazing. And something which I want to understand, and which predominantly comes from because ChatGPT just spun up and everybody was using ChatGPT, and then we saw Claude, and we saw different private models, and also open right now it's DeepSeek. So what's an eventual difference between an agent and a model? Like, if anybody wants to shed light on that.
I think I'll have to kind of go into, because it's more of architectural thing, and I love speaking about architecture stuff and design. So imagine agent is nothing but it's just so for example, you have a brain, right? I look at this way. You have a brain. Out of the brain you have a skull which is protecting the brain, correct? So skull is your agent in essentially. So it doesn't do anything in reality. The brain is something which functions, but can brain exist without skulls? Most likely no. Most likely yes, also depending on where the science goes in the future, where we can hang the brain somewhere but still human can function. But that's how I look at. So models are essentially the core element and the IQ, the thought, while agents are the reflector of those thoughts out to the world, and they are also the coordination. So they or you can also imagine it's like they are the neurons of your body, who are taking the communication from the brain, putting it in the picture, helping you to execute certain things, and then once it's done, it's giving the response back to the brain. Yeah, it is done. Now the brain is processing again, then it's giving you back the signal. Somebody who has to take this communication out and make the action performed. So that's what I look at. But I'll pause here. If anyone has other view, I'd love to.
Yeah, I'm glad that y'all asked about the difference between models and agents, because one thing that we segment strictly in our documentation is the difference between AI providers and what is happening off chain and on chain agents. So, of course, one of the things that Talus is doing differently, what makes a Talus agent different, is that the agentic workflow itself is expressed on chain. There are some use cases that are not suited for blockchains right now, like generating inference on chain would just be way too computationally intensive. There'd be huge latency to that. But on the flip side of that, all of the agents that we see right now, like virtuals agents, for instance, are every single one effectively is making a REST API call to ChatGPT at the end of the day, and they have are assigned an EOA, and the private key is stored on a server somewhere, and you have no idea whether or not that's secure. So there has to be some element of fault tolerance to these agents. There has to be some element of censorship resistance. You have to include some elements of decentralization. So that's what we tried to set out for with Nexus, is that the agentic workflow itself could be expressed on chain. And that's really what's cool about crypto in the first place, right? Is that you can have these programs that live on a common data layer, whereas that wasn't possible in Web 2. So a model would be on the AI provider side, right? And the model, the compute that the model uses, the data that the model uses can be off chain. The agentic workflow on Talus lives on chain. Now, one of the issues here is that everything that happens on a blockchain is necessarily deterministic, right? You can never have an unexpected state transition. You can never have anything unexpected happen on chain. AI is stochastic, and that's part of what makes it cool, right? So while we can't make everything, while we can't plan for everything, right? For all of the different AI providers, while we can't plan for everything to make it deterministic, so that it meshes well with what's happening on chain, what we can do is add an element of fault tolerance to the AI provision, so that if you are using a centralized model and you get rate limited, for instance, ChatGPT says we're going to revoke your access keys from using this model because we don't like you, or something like that. Then you can swap in another agent provider or another model provider, and that's how you add an element of fault tolerance to the agentic workflow, right? So the agentic workflow lives on chain. It's transparent. It's composable with other on-chain workflows. And then if any one of the links in this AI provision model go down, then you can swap something else in. That's one of the things that we handle at Talos.
Amazing. And there is, I think, I move on to the next question. So, can you tell me what you guys have been using, like what AI agents you use or follow in this market? And there is a condition: you can't say your agent, like you cannot shell your agent, but something else out of what you have been building. If you can tell me about like something I can tell, I have recently started following like AI XPT, but with like it's a bittersweet experience. But what do you guys use around or follow?
Can I throw that back
All
to
of
you?
the agents that I've seen,
Go ahead.
all of the agents that I've seen so far are entertaining, I'd say. But again, you get that limited functionality because there's no on-chain element to these agents. So really, what you're doing is giving an LLM access to an EOA, right? And there's a lot of cool things that an agent can do with that, like shill meme coins and invest, and especially giving it a social presence was huge. That's what the Eliza allowed. It's not very good social integration, but it allowed people to start to interact with agents on Twitter and on social media. But the next unlocked for agents for me is to have them on chain, so that the agentic workflow lives on the same data layer as other agentic workflows. And this is how you can add greater composability to these workflows. You can add to the functionality of these agents. You can start to aggregate information and say, okay, well, like if I have a yield agent that wants to find the highest yield in all of crypto, how can I very quickly assemble an off-chain order book that ranks all of this yield for this given asset? And then how can I get my crypto from the where it is right now in my wallet to wherever this yield is? Am I going to use something like a regular wrap bridge? Am I going to use MPC or something like that? So what I think what will really be cool for agents, the big unlock with AI agents that'll take them to the next level, that won't just be shilling meme coins or interacting on Twitter, will be when you synthesize all of these elements of the Web3 experience and improve the UX, right? So anything that used to be manual for a human to do on chain anything that used to be manual for a human in general will be automated by AI in the future. And so what we're trying to enable is the manual things you have to do on chain, your on chain experience. How can that be improved using AI agents? How can that complexity? How can you abstract complexity using AI agents?
Yeah, I'd second everything that Ben said there. I mean, really dovetailing off that right now, the main use case that we have seen is social engagement from these agents. I would say that probably the thing that the agents currently in Web3 have done most effectively is rank on the Kaido leaderboards, right? But that's okay. Right now what's happening is you're seeing a lot of teams that are using agents as a way to fundraise. so that they can actually build towards their end goal for their product, which is exciting if you think about these kind of initial agent offerings and the capital exposure that it gives to people who want to build in the space. I mean, launching an agent on Pump Fund or Virtuals or any of these other platforms and being able to quickly raise $100,000 or $200,000 to go and build your product, it's a meaningful change, a positive change for founders, right? Who would otherwise need to spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months dialing for dollars, so to speak, going out and meeting with VCs and facing all of those meetings and rejections and all that comes with a fundraising round. Now you can get funded quickly and get building, and you've got a built-in community from the people who are speculating on your token, and it gives people like us here on the call the ability to go and build towards the future that we want to see. And like Ben said, I think we are moving towards a world where there is real utility built into a lot of these agents that we're going to see coming out of Web3. It's been said many times now, certainly this is not my original thought, but agents aren't going to spend cash, right? They're going to transact digitally, and crypto is the ideal partner for AI as we move towards a truly agentic future. So I do think that AGI is certainly going to happen in Web 2 before it happens in Web 3, right? We're not going to see AGI start here in Web 3, but there is going to be a lot of meaningful innovation in the agentic space that occurs first in Web 3 because of the crypto rails that we all currently are building on.
I think I have a slightly different opinion to what Vic mentioned. I feel that the overall innovation in Web3 is extremely, extremely high as compared to like what you're seeing in the general Web2 AI space as is. I don't know if you guys noticed, but last week, ChatGPT, OpenAI released their operator feature. Okay, especially for like their paid plus business users. That's exactly what AI agents do. Okay, what they essentially demonstrated is that, okay, here's how you can, purchase groceries, okay, using just like, say a few lines of instructions. That's exactly what AI agents are already doing in Web3, and they're doing a lot more than just like, buying something online. So I think the Web3 space is going to see like hyper innovation there. Speaking of like AI agents that we use or following the market, while like Eliza, as like Ben and Vic mentioned, Eliza and several other like SocialFi tokens, okay, or agents can produce like a constant stream of like live music or video. But I think more relatable in the Web3 space is Malloc DAO Minions. What Malloc DAO Minions essentially allows you to do is, take care of the, automating super boring like governance and treasury tasks, okay, that are specifically for DAOs. So these minions, okay, execute proposals approved by members and allocate like funds and resources accordingly. Besides that, I've personally tried out 7,000 agents. My broad overall take is that about like say, when Baze launched this campaign called anybody can create an agent in 15 minutes. Okay, that really took the entire developer world by storm, and literally everyone has been spinning up an agent every now and then. So of the 7,000 agents that we tried out, okay, about like 60-70% of them are not updated. Okay, so they don't really function, okay, in terms of what they actually promise. A lot of them don't have a user interface. Okay, so let's say for like a normie user, okay, it is really, really hard to sort of use it. Third thing is that there are about like 20% are like absolutely scam agents. Okay, so whenever we are trying out these transactions, we're putting in something like $10, okay, 5 in gas and 10 in USDC and see what it does. A lot of them were like, okay, get like leverage yield on Aave, okay, and get something like 13.42%. And the moment you deposit your funds into that particular agent's smart contract, your funds are just gone. Okay, and you can see a number of deposits in it of the users that have been scammed with it. So of the limited ones that work, only about like 5 to 7% are DeFi or like Def AI, as they now say. related, and those are some of the ones that we work very closely with those developers to bring them on board at Ansa. And for us, what it does is that the biggest problem that agents face, okay, is distribution and monetization. Okay, how do you find users? Okay, the way we found those agents, okay, it really took a lot of effort to just find out that something like this even exists. Secondly, monetization. Okay, why are about 60 to 70% of agents not updated, or why are they malfunctioning? Is because there's no financial incentive, okay, for those devs, okay, to continue developing those agents. Okay, very few agents will be like fully autonomous, but even those autonomous agents have to be owned by someone. And I'm sure there is a person behind Truth Terminal. Okay, although like I think it is 90-95% automated, there is still an element of human input, as has been observed many times.
I think kind of great points, guys. But for me, like if I roll back to the question which we wanted to like cover on this section was like the way the climate of the market, like which kind of agent which we are looking at, and currently the agents which I personally follow. On the following side again, there are only some, as what Dhaval has just mentioned, is like most of them doesn't work. Like honestly, they really don't work. Fuck, bro. Like it's. I was thinking like most of it works, but when I started, like, because we were also designing the framework, and when I started going, most of them is like it just doesn't make sense. Like if I have to ask something on Twitter from an agent, why the fuck I should go and do it? I would rather open a chatbot and private chat, and I ask those questions.
Exactly. So
Like
true.
why the hell I'm gonna do all of this bullshit on X when I know X is gonna ban me at certain point of time if I try to even do the engagement farming via these bots, right? So there are a lot of issues which I'm kind of like seeing where, and that's where my next thing comes into the picture. So my next thing is like I'm more bullish on the teams and the people and everyone who is really working towards to capitalize the Web3 ethos at scale. And I'm personally a Web3 very biggest Web3 maxi. And when I say that, I basically go ahead one step further always, and I may be wrong, I may be right in the future, but I don't believe any agents which has been controlled by anyone. I believe in agents which are like either if there is a token of an agent, that agent should be free, and creators should be given enough fund to go and build whatever they wish to, but the design should allow it. And as Dhaval, and with you guys have also mentioned few points is like people can go ahead and it became quite easy for us today go and raise the fund, but honestly speaking a lot of these agents, they won't survive because what they are doing, they found a very easy way of making the money, but building is never an easy way. Builders are building in a right way, it's never an easy way, and it can never come with the raising quick money. I think this is what I've also learned with my experience. Raising quick money always puts builders and people and the founders mentality on the sideline, because then is like, okay, I can go, I don't care about failure because I can go launch one more token on pump down fund and make the same money out. And while if you go in the route of proper raising and getting rejection and everything, it also gives you a lot of pre-market verification of your ideas. Sometimes it gives in the right direction, sometimes it doesn't gives in the right direction, but at least you fight for it. Here there are no people who are fighting for it. It's gonna be like crazy days which are gonna see, and we are already seeing it, right? Pump.fun, you see, right, tons of these agents just doing nothing, like nothing. If like with the same fund they would have done something else. So that's where I'm very bullish on where people are going to be using Web3 as an infra to, and that's where I have a very high respect for you guys, what you guys are doing also at Talisman. And because you guys are solving that foundational layer of, I think it's Talis, and there are a couple of more projects who are going into the same direction as we are also imagining the same, where Web3 is plugged in by de facto, where agents, if there is a token of an agent, then there should not be a creator who is controlling the private key of those agents. If you are launching an agent for Web2 or Web3 enterprise clients, then don't even launch a token. Please go ahead and like do a proper business modeling and do it. If you are doing any kind of token launches, then please ensure that those agents are completely autonomous, like, or else it's just a bullshit. And people will just forget that agent will die out, and there won't be any fund remain to kind of. But this is how industry also grows. I also agree on that part. Okay, this is how industry works. We need to have a lot of scams to come in before some good projects start popping out. But only problem which I also see in this market climate is, till the time those good projects will come out, liquidity will be dried out. Because those liquidity will be sucked by somebody else, and the good projects will be like hanging around in the surface. So but yeah, my take is like, somebody who is going to be building the perfectly fully autonomous, at least, like, I'm talking more on the token perspective, doing that, like, I'm very much excited and bullish on them, because they are going to be talking about tech. They won't be talking about some agent wrapper.
Yeah, that's why I've created this hall of shame for covering the truth behind few terminals and truth behind something I was researching, and I found out, like, in terms of terminology, as they say. But these are few tweets I really want to go ahead with, and then jump.
I'll go later. Just sorry to cut you off. I go little here, little farther extent. It's not the shame. I like, honestly speaking, because they are smart. We are the people who are the fools, right? Okay, because we bought their tokens in, thinking like everything is autonomous and nothing. So I think it's other way around. But yeah, this is how industry evolves.
Just to jump in, I mean, part of this is just us being able to operate in a free market, right? I mean, that's the beauty of crypto.
Yeah.
And for all the hate on Pump.fun and all the scams, there are, legitimate projects that are launching on there, which is exciting. I read this Hall of Shame earlier, and the first thing that jumped out to me, just to be transparent, is I don't know that Andy Ari deserves to be in there, only because I think he's been pretty transparent from the start about Truth Terminal and what he was trying to accomplish and the experimentation of it all. And I think all of us here have to be grateful in one way or another to this guy for putting this out there, because it's put much more, I mean, I'm sure it has for you guys as well, but it's put much more attention on Ringfence and all of the projects that are building at the intersection of crypto and AI. And plus, he didn't launch his token. Now, I would say that there's a big piece here that maybe common sense is a superpower, is how I would put it.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're looking at a lot of these projects, you just have to use common sense, right? To understand that a project like Goat or, Fartcoin or, some of these air quotes AI tokens, they're community tokens. Somebody in the community, saw an opportunity, launched this token, airdropped a B in this case, and ran it up, and they were just playing the market as it lies, so to speak. But there are others that are, blatantly grifting, which, I try to not pay too much attention to them, but we've all seen them, right? And Prashant, you mentioned that earlier. There's a lot of just was it a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, when ChatGPT went down and almost all of the AI agents just simultaneously stopped.
Not 2 weeks. Yeah, it was before New Year.
No, it happened recently.
Out of January.
Yeah, so there were two. So January one, I did not know. Like in December, because I was following very closely, and there was an announcement which came in from GPT. Oh, okay, yeah. We were doing the same with the KIP protocol team. That's
Yeah.
nice. And then it happened. Then it happened actually. Then it was in this month only.
See, in the larger scheme of things, there will always, crypto always has had its own share of LARPers and grifters, right? Okay. Right from the ICO boom in, say, 2017 until, the DeFi boom, that led the previous bull run, and now, this is pretty much led by DeFi. There has always been, say, 80-90% of tokens, have very limited, to no utility, it'd be wrong for us to potentially call them scams because they haven't had a chance to deliver. And, with all due respect to all those ChatGPT wrappers out there, in all humility, I must confess that, we started off with the same route and, we don't see anything wrong with it. Okay, the advantage that we had, okay, simply by doing this is to understand what the shortcomings of ChatGPT are, okay, and find and provide, like, say, better fine tuning, and add like Claude and Llama, and now even DeepSeek, okay, to it. Okay, so ultimately, I feel that while we started off as a ChatGPT wrapper, our model is significantly advanced as compared to what we first began with. But let's be honest. Okay, honestly, the easiest path, okay, for an agent to sort of build itself is to use OpenAI's and like build like a set of what if rules and see how the agent can perform in a test environment before pushing it out live. And then what we did is, so let's say in September when we launched, all that we had is, also being a chat GPT wrapper, is that we started understanding what the shortcomings of the user inputs are and what the shortcomings of the model are, and see how we can bridge it with open source models. And that's ultimately led to where we are to right now. So, I still give like a lot of credit to those devs, using like chat GPT wrappers and getting started. They may not survive, but I'm sure like whatever they build eventually, okay, will have a lot of learnings from their current failures.
Yeah, I think using any kind of wrapper is never a wrong. Like I think quickly bootstrapping, doing the things it quite faster way. But what the point which I'm like, my personal view was is, if you're using it, you have to just clearly mention it, right? You are using this. What we have seen is like a lot of these companies, they don't do that. What they come up with is like it's their own innovation, which is not true in lot of other cases. And
I think you
if
have to read through it, right? Like, let's say in case someone doesn't disclose that, yeah, I'm using OpenAI, it's very, very easy to identify the ones, okay, that are using OpenAI. And besides, like, I'll tell you, Prashant, like, what was our thinking, okay, when we were using OpenAI? That's the fastest way we can build an MVP that people can play around with.
Oh yeah, true. I think when you guys were also in, there were very few of those models were also out, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Right.
So we wanted to sort of do that and then, build like an iterative development feedback cycle, okay, within ELSA. Okay, we've processed more than what, like 650,000 prompts. We've seen more than 5 million of transaction volume that's happened live on chain. We know who the users are, where they're from, what they're trying to get done. And like based on that, we're adding new feature sets. We get approached by every new blockchain, okay, or like every new chain coming up, saying that why don't you support our chain, okay, and drive all of their transaction volume. We've looked at your stats, okay, but our answer is that unless our users really want to like move there, okay, we do not want to spend our precious and very limited development hours supporting a chain that may or may not matter to us or our users, more importantly. Okay, so that's why a lot of new chains have gone live, okay, over the last say few months. Okay, but there are very limited number of ones that we actually feel hold long-term promise.
True. I think kind of like 100% with you, Dhaval.
Yeah, Ben, you want to go ahead? I think Ben has an hard stop and he wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad I got the chance to talk about this. I think we covered some really important topics here, like what uh, is an AI agent, what's the purpose, what makes it cool. Like, I think this is all about improving user experience. And if there's one North Star that we're trying to follow at Talus, it's not building infrastructure for the sake of infrastructure or anything like that, or just trying to build another framework that there's some dearth of frameworks in the world, but really creating tools that enable cool applications, and thinking as high up the stack as possible, as close to the end user as possible. So just be looking out for us. Follow us on @Talus Network on Twitter. Join our Discord, and really look out for that first application that we're launching on Sui. I'm really bullish on Sui ecosystem and what they've got going on. I think it's the best tech in crypto by far, and they have a great community. All of the on-chain metrics are improving. Stablecoin volume, inflows. The SWI is number one for ETH outflows. So more liquidity is bridging out of Ethereum right now to SWI than any single L2.
I think
So
we need to for this one we need to do one more session, Ben, and I'd love to have you, and would
yeah,
love to see is like if we can bring
We take some questions.
some L2 folks, some L1 folks, and then some move developers from movement and all of this. Then we'll have a very amazing discussion around the same. If you're up for
I'd
it,
love to. I'd love to. Yeah,
yeah,
I can
let's do it.
detail exactly. Yeah, I can detail exactly why we chose to build an application on SWI. But yeah, just follow our community, join our community hub, and start getting involved. And we're gonna have stuff for people to play with very very soon. That's really cool because again, that's how we're thinking, right? User experience, think as close to the end user as possible. And yeah, I'm really really excited about what we're going to accomplish this year at Talis.
Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us, and thank you for making it in the last minute. And yeah,
Thank-
have a good one. I was just going through the whole you were saying something and just
Yeah,
cut off it.
do you think we have a few minutes to take questions from the audience? It would be really nice.
Yeah, we do. Like, if there are questions, I would overlay them onto the stream, and you would be able to see it. They aren't yet, but this stream is open to anybody who wants to question anything around your product, around Spheron, or anything around agents and the ownership. I think we have already done the part where we understand what this is, and we have gone around it. But I want to understand what would be the developer influence on these AI agents, in terms of how autonomous are these agents really are. Because if I say that if that agent is deployed on a TEE, but at the end of the day, if I have the root access, I can just go on and log in and make changes to it, right? And I'm saying this as a non-technical person. But if I really dig down deep, I can much more find multiple vulnerabilities around where this agents can be exploited. So, what do you guys feel are the truly lying issues in terms of transparency and the influence of developers on these AI agents? And because they have a lot of control, I'll be very honest. If I see an AI XPT tweet, or if I see a Vader tweet or anything around it, I literally because it's a game of attention, my attention would go on to that specific project. So they have an influence on the retail, but I want to see how this is influenced by developers and what kind of transparency are we dealing with, or there is none.
I mean, my take on this is that, let's say, the autonomy side of thing is overrated. Okay, we are trying to get to step 5 instead of getting on from step 1 to step 2. Okay, the autonomous decisions that's there. Okay, technically, agents can do it. Okay, but theoretically, with so many, with say hundreds of tokens, or even say thousands of tokens that are now coming up. Okay, how do you keep on top of it and get it all done right is pretty much impossible. Okay, so I think what we should look at is semi-autonomous agents. However, I do know that, let's say, in case, if you just have an autonomous agent that is merely trading, say, one particular token, be it wrapped ETH or even Solana, okay, then you could set a very limited set of instructions saying that, you can create a what if framework that it executes. Okay, but the way the markets work is that, let's say, if you did have, hundreds of players, trying to, find, okay, that beta and go after it, okay, using an algo, okay, that beta quickly vanishes and that agent will be obsolete in no time. So a lot of these agents that are there would choose to remain private, or have a closed gated access to it. Okay, wherein there is a fee to access it, say $1,000 a month or something like that. And then there would be the past performance of the agent that one would be able to look at it. But then they would only market it to, say, 15 or 20 people. Okay, and they'll only trade up to a certain amount. Otherwise, the alpha would disappear for everyone. Whereas if I'm that particular sole agent trader, okay, or developer, sorry, in this case, I would want to do the same thing for say SUI, as Ben is very bullish, or like say some of the other tokens and see how I can develop variations of it. But the moment I try to like mass monetize it, okay, the beta goes away and all the IP that I've created, would sort of just vanish in thin air. Like they say, it's proverbially killing the golden goose. Okay, so you wouldn't want to do that. So autonomous agents, okay, will have to have like a very tailored approach. Okay, depending on what each autonomous agent's use case is. Right now, we have closer to about 42 AI agent developers that are developing something or the other for us. Okay, depending on what the user requests are. So we pretty much face these questions almost on a daily basis. That how do I monetize it? How do I ensure that what we've created doesn't just dissipate in air? Okay, so it's a very interesting question that you've raised. Okay, and I think most people would not even think about something like this.
So there's great points. And when I think about the developer influence right now, as we're coming into this agentic era, it really comes down to a team that understands the target audience that they're building towards. Dawal mentioned this. A lot of people reaching out are wondering how to monetize this agent. And really the main influence that somebody can put on an agent is giving it the context that it needs to perform a task properly and in a way that is monetizable, and having an understanding of how they're going to bring this to market. Agents are essentially, the same as apps when it comes to bringing them to market. There needs to be a real utility. There needs to be a benefit or service that it's going to provide to the end users. And it's part of the thing that we're now seeing with regards to a lot of the DeFi agents or the trading agents that are coming out now in Web3. They are being built by teams who understand Web3 intimately, right? They've traded in these markets. They've been in the space for a long time. They understand how to maximize yield in DeFi. They know these systems. So they are able to then provide an agent that also can know these systems. Because yes, the data is important that you feed these agents, but you have to let the agents know what to do with the data, right? And this is what I think is going to be the next wave. We have just one product that's currently in development is an AI travel agent. And, there's been a lot of this approach, right? But the person building this one has been in hospitality for almost 20 years, right? They've got partnerships with Amadeus, which is the big booking engine that's behind Expedia and Booking and a lot of these other ticketing sites. So they're not just coming in and saying, hey, I want to build an agent because it's the hot thing. They're understanding that they can create something that is more personal. It allows for a higher touch with the end user, but it also provides a better user experience than the current travel booking sites that are out there. And this is where I think the real influence moving forward is going to come from. I think we've gotten past, fortunately, like the developer influence on the foundational models where they, are a little bit more woke, right? I mean, we had that situation a year ago now. It's been a while since, you were prompting DALL-E 2 for pictures of the founding fathers, and it was sending, pictures of
Gemini and did
yeah.
a first job in
Yeah,
that.
But I mean, but look, it's done, right? We needed to go through that phase so that we could course correct, and I think now we are better as an industry because of it. But there's always going to be biases. I mean, people have different beliefs and feelings and biases, and they bring these into the products that they build most of the time. Because as much as we should be building for other people, entrepreneurs, obviously they want to build something that they also find useful. So we tend to bring our own biases to the table.
Absolutely.
I think
Like yesterday.
100% go
Please go.
with both of you guys. I think you have covered really well. But just wanted to add on top of that is like I think apart from understanding the monetization is eventually is going to be playing a very vital role in any kind of thing. I think it's an unsaid thing. If anyone is doing that without thinking about it, it's just doing nothing. They are just doing it for. But I have a very which is not here, and I want to put this question out for both of you. Any one of you can pick this up for the answer as well. It's just going a little out of context here, but I just want to understand your opinion as well with Randhaval. Is if anyone is doing a token launch of an agent, what does that token should do?
I think you can do like multiple things. You can gate, okay, some of the features that you have on your particular platform. Okay, tokens can, enhance your marketing by probably like 50x, 100x. Okay, so having a token is definitely advantageous. But just merely launching the token and, saying that, I'll build the product and the product will come up later, it doesn't really sound right. Okay, because knowing how we have like gone about building Elsa. Okay, we literally risked our own capital. We bootstrapped the company with our own money, and we have been like steadily building it. But now, let's say in case someone just says that, okay, I'm going to like build a product, okay, that'll have like various agents and whatnot. It's fairly challenging because managing a token for a new startup or a new project itself can be, quite cumbersome. What most of these are doing is using that to like raise money, okay, and spin up something or the other that is, something which is not even working or functional. Okay, so I'd be like very wary of all of these new tokens that are launching, calling themselves like fair launch, launching at like 800K initial market cap. Okay, and just like waiting for like these tokens to sort of pump. These are like meme coins masquerading as AI agents, so as to say, just to sort of like fit the raise narrative. Okay, and like capitalize on the unsophisticated retail crowd that just wants to grab these tokens. I feel like there are like a lot of like things that one should like watch out for. But if done right, okay, the token can hold a lot of promise.
Amazing. So I think essentially, if I summarize it, then there are only few things in which token can be used. So for now, there are a lot of unexplored territory for the token on the agent side, right? Apart from those two, what you have mentioned, Dhaval. But Vit, do you have any other takes on this?
Yeah,
No, I mean, I
like,
think
on the token utility, okay, it can power a lot of your AI agents that are launching, through your platform. And then once you've sort of done that, okay, the advantage is that you are now in a position to not only demonstrate a good working product, but users will also hang on to your tokens for a lot more than merely just holding them for speculative value.
Yeah, I think eventually we also did while we were doing a lot of analysis. There is one thing which question I had this in mind, and I thought like it's better to ask you guys because you guys are also in the same span and doing some amazing work. But what we have seen, what I have also seen personally is most of the people don't really understand how the token is going to work. They just do it for the sake of doing it because they think like it's going to be like helping a lot. But again, as on the verge of the other thing is like a lot of the folks who are doing this, they don't really understand the complexity of tokens because just launching is one thing, maintaining is one thing, and building along when you have a token is very different thing. Because then you have not a single product, you have two products. And I think I always go with this theory. And so if you guys know Chain Yoda by any chance, Ajit Tripathi, about like he is very close to me. Like he always used to tell me is like in crypto we have two products. One is product, the other is token as a product. So so as a founder, if you're two member team, it becomes very difficult to do like both at once. So you have to just do one and be the best and then go for the next. Either you do a token first and don't even worry about, and that's where meme shine, right? Meme shines because meme is all about community vibe and nothing else, no promises, while AI agents has a promise, is like there's something which is going to be done. But I'll pause here. We can go on and on the same topic because of a lot of research which has been put out and there's nothing yet solid came out around the token. Yeah, Vit, I think you were about to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I like the ability that retail has to gain exposure to products that can grow and be meaningful, right? I would not be sitting here, frankly speaking, if it wasn't for the opportunity to level up through crypto. So I don't want to shit on that too much because I think it's a great opportunity for people to get involved and stay involved and potentially be the next round of builders. People are able to make life-changing money here, and that gives them the ability, once they've got that, the burden of the everyday off of their shoulders, to then think about how they can they can create and add more value to the world. So I do like that aspect of it. Obviously, there's a ton of scams, right? But you know, spotting BS needs to be like the number
Yeah.
one thing that people focus on when it comes to crypto. Part of the reason that we launched with Agent Starter and Virtuals is because it's a nice trust signal to the market. You know, to graduate on Virtuals or to red pill your agent, it's a $150,000 to $180,000, whatever the price of Virtual is at any given time. And for a team to be able to put that forward, or to work with a company like Agent Starter and have that sponsored, you are getting a trust signal, right? You're giving a trust signal to the market that this team is legit. So, you know, when those tokens launch at whatever it is, 1.3 million or whatever they start trading at, it's a good opportunity for people, I think, right? You've gotten the validation from essentially a venture capitalist who is helping to bring a token to market at a fair market value that most retail investors are able to get in and speculate on. And as the product hopefully advances and the team continues to market, then the token price should follow, which gives everyone a nice win, in addition to getting to use a beautiful product. But yeah, this is the weirdest the market has ever been. And I've been in crypto since 2017. It is nuts. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of tokens, it seems, launching every day. And these poor people out there that are trading, you got to find one or two, right, that are going to win.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can really do that is by digging in. Maybe it starts with you seeing a token, but when you're seeing a project that's got a token, you've got to go and look at the team. You've got to go and look at the tech. If you don't understand the tech, you need to get around people who do, so you can ask questions. You need to test the products out, right? If you go through and you test a lot of the products that are attached to, agents in the space right now, they're non-functional or they're not very good. And part of that could be because they're brand new and they're just getting started, or part of that could be just because they wanted to get some basic thing out so that they could launch a token, pump the token, and leave you holding the bag. So you really have to get good at fundamental analysis as you're going through. I love that now people are able to get exposure, but with that possible upside comes the possible downside as well. And if you remove accredited investor laws, as it seems we're moving towards, right, then that means you have to protect yourself. You have to be what that government firewall has been to this point. You've got to be able to deduce, all right, I'm probably going to lose all my money here, or this may be a team that I would feel comfortable backing for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So I think it's a really exciting time. The future holds a lot of good things. It's a great time to be a builder. I don't know that there's ever been a better time to be a builder, if I'm honest. Maybe the internet bubble, but that was before my time. So it's really exciting. I think we've got a convergence of a lot of really great factors that are playing in for crypto and for AI, and it's a really cool time for the space.
I think I agree. And one more thing just to add on that. So there is a concept of like abundance. When you have enough abundance, then you have enough space to think and do some amazing stuff. And to create, and for a lot of builders, like abundance is going to be the capital. If they have that, I personally, because I also come from the same background with like crypto has given me a lot. And but again, as we say, like when such kind of amazing opportunity comes in, we always find, and this is for everyone whoever is listening this, we always going to find a lot of people trying to capitalize on it. It's an open market, fair market for everyone. When we say open and fair, I think that itself state that anyone can do whatever they wish to. If they want to scam, they can do it. If they want to build something amazing, they can do it. But it all comes back to you own your own crypto and you decide your own fate in the market. But yeah, and that's what I have been like a believer of. There are amazing projects who are going to shine, succeed, and there is no better time than this as we speak, because now not just somebody who is a coder can launch a project. Anyone can go and use AI as your intern and ask that AI to build something for you, and believe me, it just happens. So I think I'm 100% with you, man, on this one.
I mean, 4 years ago, I don't think there's anyone on planet Earth who would have thought that search, right, this very basic thing, was going to be completely flipped on its ear and disrupted. so quickly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's changed in the blink of an eye. And we're getting to this point where all kinds of things are getting ready to change, right? Medicine is about to change. Mechanical engineering is about to change. We're already seeing the impacts on software engineering. So, I mean, there are so many just like shifts, like massive shifts that are going to be happening within the world. And even if you're just an observer of this space, it's so fucking cool, pardon my language, to just every day wake up and get to see some awesome initiative that a builder is taking that can potentially change tens or hundreds of thousands of people's lives. It's awesome. I'm really, I feel really
True.
fortunate that we're getting to live through this AI inception moment.
Absolutely. I think this space has been very philosophically made out to a point which actually truly questions like why are we in this space and building together, and also to a point where you understand that meme coins are just like one night stands and product building is more of a marriage. So like it really it was a joke that was supposed to land, but yeah, I think I fumbled on it. But yeah, thank you so much, Vit and Dhaval, for coming to this and truly making us believe in what we have been.
And Prashant, like, let's connect offline. Wait, really nice to meet you as well. I resonate with a lot of your thoughts, and who knows, like some of these folks that are like raising money, just like launching a token, might build something really interesting that you might be able to play around at Elsa. So, really excited about the pace of innovation and great time to be building in this space. Thank you so much, and looking forward to connect with you all.